I stood still, my knuckles clenched around the handle of my bag. The cool air of Dallas International Airport hummed around me as my face turned white. Children giggled, announcements blasted overhead, and travelers hurried past, but my world had just come to a complete halt. And then, my wife's gentle, sugary voice slithered through the phone. "Why didn't you come to the airport yesterday, sweetie?" Yesterday? The word wrapped around my throat like a noose. The flight was today. I had the text to confirm it. The thought bounced around my head like a ricocheting bullet. My phone recorded my itinerary, and I had the confirmation email in my inbox. I double-checked. Again. As I flipped through our messages, my thumb trembled. I held the phone to my ear. PM. Don't be late. It was Saturday today. But my wife and her family had left yesterday, without me. A cold realization crept over me. She lied, and it wasn't a simple mistake. It made my stomach curl like a snake. I stood there, my vision tunneling. Around me, families embraced after long separations. Friends took photos. Couples held hands. Boarding passes in one hand, excitement in the other. And I stood there, humiliated, alone. A knot rose in my throat, but I swallowed it down. Anger seethed beneath the surface. She never wanted me on this trip, and now that she had made sure I wasn't, my fists clenched around the steering wheel as my car sliced through the dark streets. The engine hummed, but my mind was stuck on one thing: how relentlessly Laura had lied. Every word, every detail, every text. Had it all been a lie? 6 years of marriage, and this is how she treated me? Maybe I should have seen the warning signs. Maybe I did see them and ignored them. Laura always had plans. I thought it was just how she was. I was too busy. She took care of the details. That was our dynamic. I paid the bills. She adored luxury, and I gave it to her. Extra hours, side jobs, careful planning, expensive meals, designer clothes, 5-star hotels. 2 months ago, she suggested, a family trip to Hawaii. "You work so hard, sweetie. You deserve a break." I agreed immediately. I had needed that break more than anything. She insisted on handling the reservations. I hadn't thought twice. Now, gripping the steering wheel as if it were the only thing keeping me grounded, I realized the truth. She never wanted me there. I wasn't her husband. I was her wallet. A bitter laugh escaped me. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the realization that our marriage had never been a partnership. I pulled into the driveway, hands trembling. The house was silent. The porch light flickered. I shut off the engine. A message lit up my phone. It was Laura. "The resort is lovely. I wish you were here. It feels empty without you." Empty. She wanted me to believe this was a mistake. A simple mix-up. But I wasn't that naive. And then, another message. But not from Laura, her sister Angela. A photo, Laura, her parents and her sister, lounging by the pool. Drinks in hand. Laughing, partying, enjoying the vacation I had paid for. My vision blurred. They planned this. They did this on purpose. I could hear them laughing about it. Angela assuring Laura, "Oh, don't worry. He'll get over it." But this time, I wouldn't. I put my phone down and exhaled. They thought I'd sit here, pout, and wait for Laura to come home with another lie. They were wrong. For 6 years, I gave everything. My time, my money, my effort, and in return, deceit, humiliation, betrayal. Something snapped inside me. I walked to my desk, opened my laptop, pulled up my bank records. The numbers stared back at me, cold, unforgiving. I had spent over $60,000 on Laura and her family in just the last 2 years. Weekend trips, shopping sprees, luxury items. Enough. My hands moved on their own, fueled by Righteous anger. First, I called the bank. I canceled Laura's credit card. Then I transferred every cent from our joint account into a new one, under my name. By the time I finished, the Mark Bank had officially closed. I leaned back, heart pounding. For the first time in years, I had taken control, and then my phone buzzed. Laura again. I ignored it. Minutes later, another message. Angela. Hey, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Laura told me you canceled her credit card. She's having trouble booking her spa treatments. My jaw clenched. She had been gone a single day and was already trying to spend my money again, I typed back. Tell Laura to use her own money. Then I blocked Angela. By 7:45 p.m., my phone was silent. And then it rang. Laura, I let it go to voicemail. Hey, sweetie, just checking in. I tried using my card, but there's a problem. Maybe a glitch? Call me when you can. I nearly laughed. 3 minutes later, another message. This time, her voice was sharper. Mark, I don't know what's going on, but I really need to talk to you. Call me back. I put the phone down. At exactly 9 p.m., a final voicemail. No charm. No sweetness. Just raw, unfiltered rage. Mark, what the hell did you do? A sharp exhale. Then she yelled. This is our money. You can't just... Click. I smirked. Oh, Laura. She still thought she was in control. But for the first time ever, she wasn't. I was finally free. I scheduled a legal consultation. Since Laura was in Hawaii and I was paying for her to drink expensive cocktails, I was making sure she wouldn't have anything left to take from me when she returned. My phone was back on the table beside me, buzzing and vibrating relentlessly as the evening wore on. I listened to Laura's last voicemail for a bit before hitting play, and her voice emerged from the speaker. This time, Mark, I'm terrified, not angry. I'm sorry. I know I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this, but I was merely attempting to enjoy myself with my family. I never intended to cause you any harm. I gazed at the phone, but it was too late. Just talk to me. I don't want to lose you. I erased the voicemail. She wasn't sorry she did it. She was sorry she got caught. I immediately blocked her number after that, and as I leaned back and took a sip of my drink, allowing the silence to descend upon me, I became aware of something for the first time. After 6 years, I felt genuinely free. A peculiar peace crept in. It wasn't the shaky, momentary solace of avoiding a confrontation, but a genuine, deep-seated confidence that I had made the correct decision. I wasn't questioning myself. For the first time in my marriage, I felt like I was taking back control, and yet I sat there wondering, was I overreacting? I rolled my shoulders back in my chair, releasing the strain. Like clockwork, my phone buzzed once more. But this time, it was from Laura's father. I sighed. I considered ignoring it. I knew exactly how this conversation would go, but curiosity got the better of me. Richard's voice sounded loud and authoritative, like the leader of some wise old council, rather than the father whose daughter had just defrauded me out of thousands of dollars. Mark, I wanted to speak. With you directly about this matter? I didn't answer. I let him talk. Listen. I know you're furious, but Laura ought to have known better. Still, don't you think you're acting a bit too hastily? I sneered. Richard, your daughter stole. From me. She used the money I earned to travel, leaving me looking like a fool, standing alone in an airport. And when I finally stopped letting her use me, she threw a fit. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is premeditated betrayal. Mark, son, let's be sensible. There was silence on the other end, followed by a sigh. The goal of marriage is to work through problems together, not shut someone out when things get difficult. Don't you think divorce is extreme? I chuckled softly and rubbed my temple. Richard, if Laura had paid for everything and I had abandoned her at the airport, what would you have told her? Silence. What would you say to your daughter if she was the one left behind? He hesitated. Well, that's different. No, it's not. To them, I was never a husband. I was a provider, a walking paycheck. It was never about love, never about partnership. I laughed again, this time at myself, at the fool who had been funding a lifestyle he wasn't even a part of. Richard, however, was not amused. "Mark, you were more than happy to take care of your wife while you worked." I worked my ass off to ensure she had the life she wanted. But this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't miscommunication. This was betrayal. And I refused to stay married to a woman who sees me as nothing more than a bank account. Another sigh. "You're just angry, Mark. Calm down. Think about what you're doing. In a few days, when you've relaxed, you'll regret it." "No, Richard." I shook my head. "My only regret is not waking up sooner." And then I hung up. It didn't take long for my phone to start exploding with messages from Laura, her mother, her sister, even our mutual friends, all of them saying the same thing. "Come on, Mark. You two are a great match. Just talk it out." Laura is inconsolable, sobbing uncontrollably. "Would you really throw away 6 years of marriage over one mistake?" Laura herself texted. "Mark, I don't know what happened. Please, just talk to me." Hearing her play the victim made my blood boil. How many times had I let my emotions get the better of me? How many times had I ignored the red flags? How many times had I told myself, "Just let it go, Mark. It's not worth the fight"? But now, with the tables turned, suddenly I was the one being too emotional. I turned off my phone and threw it onto the couch. Let them panic. Let them plead. I had made my decision. And over the next few hours, I did something I hadn't done in years. I made plans. For my future. Not Laura's. Not ours. Mine. I examined my finances, not to see if I could afford another lavish dinner or weekend trip, but to secure my own stability. For years, my money had funded her dreams. Now it would fund mine. I looked up destinations I wanted to visit, alone. Hobbies I had abandoned to cater to her lifestyle, and above all, I scheduled that legal consultation. Laura was in Hawaii, drinking on my dime. But when she came back, there would be nothing left for her to take. And that thought, that freedom, it felt incredible.